might jump ship to another firm once I get promoted, or I might go back to school. Or I could also probably get hired in industry, but I'd have to commit to like putting in the work to search for a job. I think I'd be pretty sought after because I won an award that like 20 people win every year, so like a national award, and like I'd have a pretty strong resume, so I could do it. But exit opportunities in tax accounting are not as broad as if you're an auditor. Actually, I wouldn't mind being an auditor for like a year, because if you do it, you can get a certification that lets you sign off on financial statements, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll stick it out at least until October when I get promoted. Oh,
And there's always the exit strategy of just casting Forbidden Flame.
Sensei's coming back tomorrow.
Neat. I wonder what he's been up to though.
I was talking to him just now, or like a couple hours ago. And he just said tomorrow he's gonna ask for an invite back. Moose, I think, is gonna try to come back tomorrow too. So now, you're just gonna get Toomey back.
I mean, what is the deal with the invoice? They can't just like join?
What did you just say? The deal with
Like,
what?
what's the deal with invites? Why can't they just join?
You didn't say invites the first time, did you? You said something weird. I heard you say
To be honest,
invoice.
I didn't even realize Toomey left.
It took me a while too.
Wait, did she get kicked out, or what was her deal?
She left.
I mean, what does that mean to leave, you know? Like, in this context.
I messaged her. Yes, I'm fine. I've just been tired of getting tired of SSH for a while now, and was tired of the negative feelings I was coming away with. Just finally committed to pulling the trigger.
I'm not surprised. I mean,
Yeah, because people are constantly calling her out on her stupid shit. What?
Yeah, that's pretty good. I wish Nex was here to hear that. Nex would have loved that one. Yeah, she goes. I mean,
I get it, but she goes too hard on it. That's the problem.
She went too far with some stuff, and I don't think she
Fully agree.
realized. Yeah, I don't fully. Well, I don't really care like whether I agree or not, because I can just ignore it. But some people can't, I guess. Whether she realized it or not, she actually was part of the reason why both Sensei and Moose felt like they had to leave. Because she's kind of is a strong advocate for her beliefs, verbally, and a lot of us just won't really like fight it too much. So, yeah.
No, I mean, look, okay? You can say what you want, right? But if you're offended because people don't agree with you, well, okay, you know, you can take your ball and go somewhere else, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, like, I'm friends with her, but if there's less trans talk on here, that'd be kind of nice. So.
You know, the thing that annoyed me the most was when she'd say something and we'd be like, "You're full of shit," and she'd like pick up some random article from God knows where the fuck on the internet that has absolutely no credibility whatsoever, and we'd be like, "That's bullshit. Why don't you look at something else?" And then she'd be like, "I don't have time for this."
I never really dealt with that.
I mean, technically, I can see why anyone would have that position of, yeah, I don't feel like defending this point. Like, what am I gonna win?
Yeah.
Out of this, even if it actually had some real scientific, fully proven reasoning behind it. Like, you didn't really get anything out of proving people wrong.
Oh, what the
Unless
fuck?
you're ogress, I
Shit.
guess. Then you get a reason not to shoot yourself in the head, I guess.
Fuck.
In a sense, I feel a lot of people felt about her as if she was like the female ogress.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe not to
In the
that
sense-
level, but
I don't think she's at that
No.
level.
No, she's not like at the I'm gonna insult you level, but
just very adamant about things.
just she can be. I mean, you can't
was a little-
deny that
She was
she can be
pushy.
condescending.
Yeah, pushy.
like-
a little condescending, for sure. If you disagreed with her.
But, like most people here, I'm not gonna say that that I have anything negative to say. Like, sure, but everyone here has flaws. I mean, what I'm gonna do, like pretend, oh yeah, I'm perfect, and all these people are retarded. Like, no. And some people here have, like, I think everyone at some point has pushed a point that is not really completely properly formulated.
Yep.
Or you could go like the way of bats, just reply to everything with memes because you deep inside think that the whole discussion is retarded and everyone is arguing like with false premises or worse.
Oh shit. God damn it, this is awful. Oh my god. Holy shit, that was a lot of dudes.
Where are you playing?
I'm playing Heat Signature, and I'm sucking really bad at it because I haven't played it in a while. It's really obvious that I'm sucking. It's kind of annoying.
Did you fall asleep?
Who, me?
No.
Huh?
Why would I fall asleep?
Gee, I didn't know. It's just that I could hear regular shallow breathing, and it's like,
No, I actually did fall asleep.
Okay, this is going better than before. Come here. Oh, whoops, shit.
oh, whoa, okay. Placing bosses on the second level, okay.
What are you playing?
Risk of Rain 2.
Oh,
But I get like really powerful bosses just on the second level at 8 minutes.
Still there, Strom?
Yeah, I'm here.
So, after you go back to work after your 5-day fuckfest, like, you know, how do things work with that girl? Like, do you guys giggle around each other? Are you really fucking annoying around like everybody else? You know what I mean?
We don't work in the same office, so she mostly pings me on Skype.
Oh, okay. So you just keep sending the dirty messages to each other.
Yeah, instead of shit like, man, I really want to get filled. I'm just like, oh, what? But
Nice.
yeah. Actually, she's pretty distracting.
Yeah. That makes it sound like you're surprised by that.
What? That is distracting, or?
Yes.
It is pretty funny to me how quickly she like completely became infatuated with me. But
I mean, you are happy, right? Because like sometimes when you talk about it, you like don't seem that happy about it.
no, yeah, I really like her. So
Okay.
we had a really good. I mean, like besides this fucking, we had a good time in Vermont.
It's just so funny how you put it. Like,
No, we're. I mean, if you think about it, right? Considering that was the, like, obviously I've known her for over a year, but in terms of like being anything more than friends, it's only been a month, not even 3 weeks, right? And in the second week, she wanted to go away with 5 days with me, which is basically being wifed up for 5 fucking days because it was just the two of us.
So that's actually good because in some ways that's good because like sometimes people don't find out until like they move in together that they actually can't fucking stand being with each other.
No.
You know what I mean? Like I definitely know people that's happened to.
Yeah, we got along well. It's because we're both introverted, so like, if we just don't want to talk, we just be quiet and we're fine. But we have a similar sense of humor as well, like very similar, so that's cool. And yeah, she's definitely just like, I mean, she's only a year younger than me, but I definitely get the sense that she hasn't been with a guy who like isn't kind of just interested in dicking her and not like doing much else for her. So, yeah, it's working in my favor right now. But I'm still not positive it'll last like that long. Not because of me, but just because.
Well, I mean, crushes are what they are. Sometimes they don't last. I mean,
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
don't always know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, like she's
Oh,
a fucking
fuck.
she's a hot 23-year-old. Like, there's no shortage of guys that are gonna be after her, and eventually one of those guys that's after her will be better looking than me and probably more charismatic. So, I understand that, and not that she's not like, I mean, she ain't a hoe, but she can get bored of me. Who knows what'll happen? For now, we're good though. She wants me to fuck. She wanted me to come over tonight. I was just like, dude, I can't. It's too far, and I got too much shit to do this weekend.
Oh, she lives in New York, right?
Yeah, right.
I mean, does she have a wealthy family or something?
Yeah.
That's it?
Her family's probably millionaires. That doesn't make them like uber rich, but they're Long Island Russian Jews. Like,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
they're not fucking they're you know, like when you say millionaire, it sounds like they're rich as fuck. That doesn't, you know, them being millionaires wouldn't make them rich as fuck. But she's definitely
You do understand who you're trying to explain this to, right?
also a millionaire, yes. But yeah, I don't know. Like,
I mean, I can understand that as well because having a million of my currency is kind of meaningless at the point.
right? Yeah, no. But yeah, I mean, she's had more money, and her family's probably had more money. Makes more money in a year than my family's probably ever had. Like, which is kind of funny, because you know she's definitely grown up. Like, oh, like every fucking weekend they were going skiing, and they were like going to a a private ski lodge, and like they were fucking, you know, like she was having parties in her Long Island house and shit. But,
Yeah, so you really don't know whether it's gonna last.
right. Well, I mean that doesn't mean that she's a stuck-up bitch or anything.
No, but there may be other things at work, like, you know, family pressure, right?
Well, the thing is, her family she's the first generation born here, so her family worked, like her parents have worked for what they have, you know. Like yeah, her dad owns apartment buildings in the city and shit. She's the benefit of that, and she benefits from like what her parents have done a lot. But I don't think that her parents would. She's really close to their mom, and her mom is like really supportive of her, like incredibly supportive of her. So I think her parents would like me, but except for the fact that like I work on the same team as her. But I don't know how they feel about that.
You haven't met her parents, have you?
No, I have not. But
I mean, it's super early. I'm not like, you know,
yeah,
suggesting
her
that you
mom
should or
actually,
anything.
Her mom is the director at the company we work at.
Oh my god.
I know, right?
Dude, you're insane.
That doesn't mean anything, dude. There's hundreds of thousands of directors. Not hundreds of thousands, but
There's hundreds of thousands of directors, really?
Shut up. Yeah, it's not even partners. If you're a director, it means you're not good enough to make partner.
Is a director the equivalent of like, I don't know if you've heard of this, like in law firms they have this weird thing where it's like they call them like non-equity partners.
That's exactly what a director is. You're a partner, quote unquote, but you don't actually have equity in the firm. You just make a salary.
Which kind of just makes you like a, you know, like a well-paid wage slave, right? I mean, do you know what I mean? Because they've decided that you're doing a good job, but not enough to give you a piece.
You're not ownership. Yeah, exactly. You're good at running the show, but you're not ownership material. So, yeah. Like, her mom's never going to make partner. It doesn't mean anything bad. Like, she's still making probably $200K a year at least, but whatever.
Well, you know, I mean, there's any number of reasons why you put someone in that position. One of them is that you're not good enough. Another one is that you're just not very good at kissing ass.
Yeah, or you didn't sell well enough, or the politics of it fucked you over, or when the time came, there was not an open position, and here you are, and you're railroaded. I mean, I get
or, you know, like, you might not be part of the boys' club. Like, for example, if you're a Russian Jewish woman.
Yeah, no, for sure. So yeah, I don't. First of all, I don't harbor any bitterness towards her being really substantially more wealthy than me and having had a pretty easy life in comparison. Two, I don't fucking care that her mom's an ED or not, and never have cared. And even though in the past, even before we were fucking, she's been like, oh, like yeah, I can have my mom help you out or whatever. But and three, yeah, I don't really. Well, that's one and two. That's it. I guess I don't know. I don't think it's gonna impact things substantially either way. I think her parents would like me. I'm a likable guy, right, Tits?
Never met you, dude.
I mean, all they would care about is if, like, I was secure and, not crazy and not just a total fucking piece of shit.
You know, you got a couple of things going for you, right? I mean, you're very sincere, you know,
Yeah.
and that comes across well. That counts for a lot, especially when you're younger. You know, that because it's okay that you're not polished, you know. No, but, you know, that helps you. That helps you more when you're young than when you're older, you know.
Yeah. It's endearing, right? That's what I found. It's a very endearing trait.
It helps, like, it lowers people's guard, you know.
I think so, yeah. I'm very open with people, but I also get the way shit, like, is supposed to work. Or, like, the fucking, all the games that are played.
Yeah, and you're pretty agreeable. Like, you don't, you know, you're not like Toomby or Ogrist.
Right, yeah.
Like super argumentative, you know.
No, I'm not.
Or me. I'm probably not that likable either.
Yeah,
I mean,
whatever.
it's
I know I'm
that
not
hard
good with
to not
people.
be
I wasn't
aggressive.
supposed to go into business. I was supposed to be in engineering. Then it didn't fucking matter that I'm a dick.
God damn it.
What?
Way to embody the stereotype.
Well, I mean, I have a little bit more self-awareness than a lot of the engineers I worked with, so that was like good, right? Oh god, shit. Fuck. I just got shot.
Yeah, the real reason I don't know if this will last is because she's talked to me before about, like, a couple of the guys she's dated and how, like, she just got bored of them and broke up with them.
Yeah, cause she's rich and pretty and young. She doesn't know what she wants.
Right. Yeah, more or less so. I've always joked to her that she's a man-eater. Here I am. So, yeah. Probably the same thing will happen to me, honestly. But you could say.
Sounds like a fairly realistic view of the whole thing, yet at the same not very happy.
It sounds bad. Really, I like her a lot, and I think she likes me a lot too. But I just like, I actually told her this too. That I've told her a couple times when I got drunk that because really, I like her a lot, and when she gets close to me, my heart beats really fast, and she can always tell, and she asks me why I'm always so nervous around her. So I got drunk a couple times and told her that. I think she's just, part of me is worried that she's just going to throw me away, like she has to other guys. And
That's just one of those
Yeah.
things you gotta roll with it and find out. I mean, you don't
yeah,
know.
I know, I understand.
It's a
but
maturity
I've
thing,
expressed it.
and it's
I've
nothing to
expressed
do
it.
with you, right?
Right, but expressing that to her definitely.
It's pretty early to be expressing that to her, but yeah, I mean, you know, that sincerity thing, like you were talking about, like.
It worked. I mean, or at least it made her want to bang me.
Oh, that was the banging speech. Seems a bit unintentionally manipulative, perhaps.
Yeah, I would say so. I think she's just more drawn to openness like that, or she likes that trait in guys. She likes the whole. I mean, I guess in a word, she likes this whole tortured artist thing. Like, oh, he plays the guitar. He's so sensitive.
But you're a fucking accountant, bro.
I know, but you gotta understand, dude. I have a fucking mullet, like scrabbled beard, play the guitar, like.
I mean, being accountant sounds as suffering, so I guess it counts.
Yeah. She definitely gets. She likes that element of me, where like. Generally, I'm not very open, but yeah, I don't know. It drives her crazy whenever I talk about shit like that.
See, it makes her feel special that she managed to find her way in, right? That's that thing.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe I juice it a little bit because I know it makes her crazy, but there's also there is sincerity to it, because obviously I don't want to get thrown away.
So you do turn up the emo just a little bit for her then, huh?
Sure, why wouldn't I? If she's into it, why not? The same way I told her I like when she acts when she's bad, and now she, like, if I try to kiss her, she'll like pull away and then laugh. But I think it's fucking hot. You know, she does it for the same reason. So
Fair enough.
for the short term, she's fucking crazy about me. I mean, let's see what the text is. Yeah, she went out to eat and she says, "I'm only stuffed in my belly, but the other hole is itching to have some."
Jesus Christ, dude.
That's what she's texting.
You know, my sister was complaining about my PDA. Like, fuck, if only she knew what the real spectrum is out there, you know?
Yeah, ever since I did the thing to her that really got her fucking shaking, which I knew would buy me some time, especially a chick that young. Not
Yeah.
that she's that much younger than me, but like I said, I don't even think a guy's ever ate her out before, so it's like a whole new world for her, which will give me some time, like more time than I might otherwise have had.
We are rooting for you, Strong. Even though I give
Yeah,
you
dude,
shit all the time.
I appreciate. I hope it works out. Like I said, I really like her. The trip we had to Vermont was definitely good for setting a bright future for this. Because it was so early, but it was just so natural that, like, yeah. Really,
Wait, so are you actually going to Alaska, by the way?
I mean, I suppose I haven't bought the ticket yet, so technically.
Because I forgot what date it is already.
Could fall through, but yeah, I would like to, and I'm still planning to. Nothing to do with her. I just want to go myself, obviously, because I've been planning it since before her. But yeah, it was the last week of May, or last week of May, first week June, that type of
Oh,
thing.
okay. Actually, June is usually... Well, is June busy or slow? July is slow. Sometimes June is busy.
July's pretty slow for me.
July's very slow for us because the theatrical standees are already in the theater by July. And then it ramps up again in August so that they can go in for Labor Day. Plus,
Right.
there's also like August, September. You know, like people start worrying about. I mean, you know, like the fall season for like retail. I mean, like it used to be Black Friday, but now, I mean, the last couple of years, I don't even know if Black Friday is a thing anymore. Like it definitely scaled way down, as you might expect. The tricky thing is this company that we've been talking to. I mean, I've been talking about it with you guys for a while now because it's been a while. Thank God I haven't been involved in the day-to-day negotiations, or I would have said something to fuck it all up by now. My father's been very patient. But the wheels are coming off over there. So we're giving them an ultimatum. Like, either they merge with us or we're just going to start hiring their people. There's like 5 guys that already have talked to us. Like they want to come over as a group, like 4 or 5 people, like all at once. and they'll take like some of their biggest accounts with them.
Oh damn, son. They're just tired of being on the sinking ship.
You know, one of them is the dude's own son. And I was very skeptical of this at first, but we're starting to see more of the picture, and I guess it's understandable. The guy hit up his son for money to keep the company afloat.
Yeah.
And possibly also I mean, I've never met this guy's wife, okay? So, I don't know that much, but...
a specific denial.
No, I mean, I've never met the guy's wife, but, like, she's really young. I'm pretty sure dude is, like, 75.
Oh, shit.
His daughter is, like, 40. And his wife is, like, 30-something. So... you know, do the fucking math, right? I mean... I mean, he doesn't... He's a functional alcoholic, and he doesn't walk that well. He's not that good looking. And he's 70 plus.
Right, which should be enough right there.
So, and he's married a girl who's like probably like 33, you know? Like 32, 31, somewhere in that range. So, right? So he's real pissed off. He thinks he's getting dicked over. Which may or may not be justified, since I don't really know all the details of what's going on there. But I know that the father asked the son for money back. And didn't ask his own daughter. He asked the son, but not the daughter, for the money. So the son's kind of pissed. So I don't know when that move is going to happen. But it might happen, like, next month.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming now.
What we wanted to avoid something where the guy went nuts and went into a price war with us.
Yeah.
That's like one bad scenario. And the other bad scenario is that we overpay for his company. So my father was trying to avoid both those, you know, possible, you know, disastrous kind of possibilities. Like, he got into a little back and forth shit with another one of our competitors. And like they were hiring people away from each other. They cut prices on some work that I think both of them were doing with suppliers to Walmart, and I think that helped sink this guy's company. Like, I think he cut prices so much that he was losing money on some of those jobs he was running for that Walmart supplier.
Yeah.
Where is Nex anyway? Is he actually like enjoying his life right now?
He's playing Final Fantasy 14, so he's.
Oh, so the answer is no.
The MMO fucking dopamine high.
I don't know which Final Fantasies are which. So
It's an
you said
MMO,
14
obviously.
is an MMO.
Mhm.
Has everyone after 10 been an MMO? Like how does it work? Are they all MMOs now at this point?
No,
No.
so 11 was, 12 wasn't, 13 wasn't, 14 is, and I don't know what else they've made, but I don't know if there's a 15. I forget.
Isn't 15 the one with the boy band?
Yes, correct. Yeah. Okay. Good call. I'll be right back. back.
Okay.
Ugh.
Oh, fucking A. Hey, Strom.
Hi.
So what happened with that? Oh shit! What happened with that clothing designer that you'd been doing work with? Remember how you said he like sold something, like basically sold it to, who was it? Was it Urban Outfitters?
Yeah, yep, hopefully we'll be getting paid pretty soon. The deal kept getting pushed back because it's actually a really big pain in the ass to do business with them.
How long they drag you out for in terms of like payment?
Oh, it's net 30, so, I mean,
Do they actually pay you in 30? They don't drag it out longer than that?
we'll find out.
Because
About
they're,
4
I
days.
mean, you know, all the big guys, they say 90 and then they drag you out longer and they still expect a discount sometimes.
Yeah, well,
Like
you
they really
understand
fuck with people.
the fundamental principle of cash flow management is pay your bills, collect as early as possible, and pay as late as possible. Because the longer you hold cash, the better off. Well, I mean, obviously you don't want cash doing nothing, but yeah, the longer you have cash to potentially be used for other things, the better you are, right? But yeah. I mean, so I understand that. Yeah, they'll probably take us for a ride. Is what it is. As long as this guy gets paid, I don't care. And neither does he. It took forever because they have super stringent requirements on like how to ship to them and package and stuff, and it was really obnoxious because you had to order clothing tags from a specific provider that is just such a hassle to get them from. It was really irritating. I actually really hated working with them. The people like we dealt with were nice, and it's not their fault, but just the whole process is so fucking like if this kid didn't have us, I don't know how he would have done this, to be honest.
Tell me about these tags. I'm kind of curious.
Well, it makes sense, right? Like you're selling shirts, you gotta have size tags on them, and
Oh, so they have a particular format for the size tags, you're saying?
yes, which makes sense. I just don't think it makes sense that onus should be put on the small independent
On the supplier, but of course it is.
Well, yeah, because they're the big dicks, so they can say,
Yes.
you know. I mean, I get how it works, and I don't really care because it's not my money or my product, it's just my client. But so I do care in that extent. But yeah, like it was more just annoying because it was like, all right, well, here's what I need to do, and now I'm gonna have to fucking waste a bunch of time dealing with these assholes to get the tags. Like, it's fucking frustrating, but like, you know, I mean, would I do it differently if I was them? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. It's just annoying. It doesn't make it any less annoying. We invoiced them through the official channels, and I don't know. We'll see. Like they'll have to pay us. It's just they'll probably drag it out beyond that 30. I'm pretty positive. That's pretty positive that'll happen. I've been expecting it, and this guy definitely needs the cash. We're actually thinking about disengaging from him,
Because his
Valentine's
cash
Day-
situation is that bad?
Yeah, his cost of living is too high. So regardless of his profitability on the books, he just can't keep cash flow. Which means, like, I don't think he can afford us.
Oh, okay.
Which is fine. Like, this is what happens, you know? We're not going to walk away from him and leave him in shambles. And we also don't want to keep working with him and have him be unable to live because he feels like he has to pay us too. And we also don't want to do unpaid work, right? So like,
Yeah.
it makes sense. Like I think disengaging is on the horizon, but we're gonna get through Urban first. We're gonna make sure we get paid up for what we can. We'll reassess the situation. Maybe we'll do one more drop with him and see how he does. It's just that he needs to rethink his business model, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He can't sustain himself by doing these 7, 8, 9 drops a year.
Yeah, he just needs to get more serious, right?
He could if he lived cheaper, like because if he was making 40K in gross sales, you do that 9 times a year, 360 in gross a year. I mean, you're not taking that all home. You're taking half of that, or 40% of that. But
You can't live in LA on 40 a year.
no, 40K 9 times a year, 360 a year.
Oh.
Which you're taking probably 30 to 40% of after all your costs and stuff for business, cost of doing business, you know, between.
So your take home is like 100 a year.
At least, right? Theoretically, if you're doing 40K a year, 40K a drop in gross, but one, I don't know if he's gonna keep being able to do that because he's made some poor business decisions historically that diminished his brand's reputation a little bit.
Yeah,
Or at least
you had
it
talked to
did.
me about that before. The issue.
And plus,
with
the business, the whole business model is actually not the best in my opinion. This whole made-to-order shit is not really good because like, you order clothes, you don't want to wait 2 months to get it shipped or a month or whatever. Like, that's just obnoxious. That's stupid. But I mean, yeah, it keeps your inventory levels completely zero, which I guess is awesome from cash flow and cost management. But for the customer, like, eventually people are gonna get sick of like this whole, oh, I buy today and I pay today and I don't get it for fucking like 45 days. That's outrageous.
Did I tell you the story about the tourism agency?
Possibly, but at the moment, it's not ringing any bells.
The Chinese tourist agency?
No.
Yeah. So this is kind of like a cash flow story. This is a great example of how, what he's doing is actually like, it's kind of interesting. Different people do different things when sort of like you get paid in advance, right? So these guys, they had a super successful business because right after Nixon went to China, like it opened up trade relations between China and the United States, right? This was in the late 70s, going into early 80s.
Sure.
So this guy, my dad's, well, they were friends. I don't think we're friends anymore. The reasons for which we'll go into. He was a beneficiary because of connections. He had the ability to basically organize tourist trips into China, and for a little while he was kind of like a monopoly because he had these family government connections. So he was doing a shitload of business because all the people who had left China hadn't been able to go back in for like years. And everybody has family, right? So it was like the floodgates. And then of course there's also, not just Chinese people, but non-Chinese people want to see like the Great Wall or the Forbidden City or whatever, right? I mean, there are some things in China that are kind of interesting for non-Chinese people. So they were just making money hand over fist. They had tons of cash, and the thing about the travel business, especially this is like before Travelocity and all this shit, right? Is you have travel agents and you pay the travel agents like 6 to 9 months in advance to reserve your spot in the tour group,
okay.
right? And so this company that they had was doing well, but on top of that, they were sitting on, they just had so much cash flow because you have tons and tons of cash coming in all the time, right? And I personally do not understand this mindset. Like, to me, this is just completely fucking insane. But apparently, with all this cash coming in, they were like, well, hey, we have all this money. Seems like a total waste just to have it sit in the bank, right? So let's make some real estate investments with that money.
Yeah. Oh no.
And they weren't very good at it, so they bought some homes and townhomes that didn't really pan out in terms of like market timing, but they were doing fine. I mean, for a long time they were doing great. I'll never forget this shit because this is like, like when I'm in elementary school, like my parents are struggling. My father's going to work every day at 5 in the morning, and he doesn't get home until like 7 or 8 at night. And like, we're not living in a very nice house, and we eat a lot of like pork liver, like for dinner. Like my mom is working in her teacher job that's like 40 minutes to an hour drive each way, right? Which she was able to get because they needed bilingual teachers because she speaks Chinese and her English is pretty good, right?
Yeah.
And my parents are, I mean, like, we're not poor, but we're not doing well. And then we go and visit. Oh, my father's. Oh, this is like my old friend from. Actually, I don't even know where their friend's from. It must have been from when they were in college, but they didn't go to the same college, so I don't know how they met. But dude lives in Scarsdale, right? That's the biggest fucking house I've seen in my life up to that point. I mean, you're an East Coast person, so you know what Scarsdale is, right? They had a fountain in the front of their house. Like you drive in, there's like a fountain, kind of like a, like a shitty movie, right? And they had a ginormous Christmas party with they filled that whole house full of people. And I was really young at this time. I think I'm like 6 or 7 or 8, and I overheard this conversation my father was having with this guy, where he's telling, like this guy, like they were arguing, right? And this guy was saying, "No, we're fine. It's fine." My father's like, you should put something away. You should like, you never know what's going to happen, right? And the guy's like, no, we're doing great. What could possibly go wrong? Blah blah blah. Okay, which is like, the.
Yeah.
Do you know the punchline? Do you know what went wrong?
Well, when did this happen?
This was in the 80s. Can you guess what happened? If you probably spend 10 minutes, I bet you could figure it out.
Well, just tell me.
Tiananmen Square.
Oh my god.
Yeah, tourism dried up overnight.
Oh Jesus, yeah.
It fucked them, right? Okay, and now, right? I mean, now they've got a real big problem, right? Because, I mean, they've got the normal problems that you'd see from an economic downturn or like a cyclical thing. They overhired. They did just about everything wrong they could possibly think of. Like they hired a bunch of their relatives into the business, right? I mean, some of them are probably overpaid. So they have too many people there, and it's really fucking hard to like fire your cousin or your brother or sister, right? But then, of course, on top of that, they have all these mortgage payments, right? Because they took all of these.
Sure.
They took mortgages out to pay for all this real estate speculation. And I mean, even in the best of times, it's not really that easy to liquidate real estate, right? I mean, which is why I think this is just like absolutely incredible. Like, could you, like, it's hard for me to think of a less liquid asset that is readily available, for investment than real estate, right? But so they started to get into real trouble, and they started borrowing money from people. Like, they borrowed money from all their relatives. Just a little longer, we'll be fine, right? And when that was done, they started borrowing money from their friends, including my father. I remember there's a very tense conversation between my mom and my dad, because my father took out a second mortgage on the house to help out his friend. I remember the conversation where my mom was like very, very unhappy. She wasn't like screaming unhappy, like she was resigned to it, but she was pretty unhappy. And my dad actually called all of us together and explained to us that he was, that what was going on, that we were taking out a second mortgage, that he was taking out a second mortgage on the house so that he could give this guy a loan. But at this time, we're financially a little better off. My father said, don't worry about it. It's not, like, we're not going to be on the street, was kind of like the gist of it. But it's a lot of money, but, we can, it'll be okay, And my mom is like, are you ever going to see this money again? And my father said, honestly, I don't think so, but I can't tell him no. Like, he asked me for a favor. We've been friends a really long time. I'm not going to tell him no. But no, I don't think we're going to see this money again.
Damn.
It actually ended up being a lot worse than that because in the end, the business failed. And they very nearly went to prison because in addition to, all of these problems, I guess, while they were in trouble, they stopped paying their payroll taxes.
Oh shit.
So the IRS was like, they can put you in prison for that, right? But the family had to declare personal bankruptcy, and his conversation with the IRS went something along the lines of like, yeah, you can put me in prison, or just leave me out here and I'll be able to pay some of it back, because you put me in prison, I'm never going to be able to pay any of it back. So, yeah. That's my story about cash flow.
Yeah, it was quite the twisty turny one, but cash flow is important.
Wow, so you guys are gonna walk from that guy, huh? Sorry, it's not working out, I guess.
We might. I mean, I'm not too beat up about it or anything. I knew this was ever since we got into almost like we were worried that this guy was gonna get sued because of the bullshit that happened with his fucking collaborator. I laid it on the table actually. I was like, look, at some point we might need to consider just walking away. It's like, yeah, absolutely. Like, there's, you have to know when to just drop a guy, but we'll see. If anything, we're so early in our business career that being with this guy has been good just as a learning experience too.
Yeah.
Even if we don't get fully paid out, and it hasn't been that difficult or anything.
Well, I mean, the nice thing about your business is you only get stiffed on your time, right? Like, you don't.
Yeah, I don't actually invest money.
You don't. Yeah, like. You don't get held hostage over like raw materials or holding inventory that is worthless, right? I mean, those kinds of things, which we see in our business.
Yeah, I mean, time is money, and I don't want to lose my reputation either. But
yeah,
if that's really the thing you don't want to do is have this go so badly that this guy starts talking to people poorly about you, because that would suck. But that we're gonna make sure that won't happen. I think it's really just gonna be hard for him too, no matter what happens, because he hasn't paid us in a while. So.
Oh, he hasn't paid you guys?
Not because he doesn't want to, but because he just doesn't have cash, and we've been like, look, like we're not gonna make you starve for us. So.
What we do when someone is not paying is we tell them, like, beyond a certain point, like, we kind of have a conversation with them where it's sort of like, hey, like, we know you can't pay everything right now, but you gotta give us a little bit, like, just start making some progress,
Yeah.
So even if they pay off like a little bit each month, you know what I mean, just to like get them into that, because otherwise you never see any of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, I understand. I mean, we have control of his bank account, so we can literally pay ourselves if we wanted to.
Oh, well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know that's just what we do. Like, we rarely sue anybody, but it's more like, you know, we know you're in some financial trouble. Like, just make some progress. You know, pay a little bit this month, or you know, like this week or whatever, right?
Yeah. No, it's true.